Do you ever feel like a fraud? Do you ever think to yourself, they'd hate me if they knew the truth about me? When someone compliments your good work, do you think it's really not that great and anyone else could have done it better? Did you know that there's a name for this? It's called the imposter syndrome, and you're absolutely not alone. Hi, I'm Daniel, and this is Journey to Wellness. And here on this channel, I like to post weekly videos about ADHD in adulthood and help spread awareness of what it truly looks like. So if you're new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on one of my videos. Now let's jump into today's video. Imposter syndrome is something that just about everyone experiences, although they may not admit it. So what exactly is imposter syndrome? I have a definition here from Psychology Today. The imposter syndrome is a psychological term referring to a pattern of behavior where people doubt their accomplishments and have a persistent, often internalized fear of being exposed as a fraud. Now, this is not exclusive to people with ADHD. So why am I bringing it up on an ADHD-focused channel? Wait, I just said an ADHD-focused channel. Now, there's an oxymoron for you. Now, this is just my theory. But while neurotypical people also experience imposter syndrome just as those of us with ADHD do, I believe that those of us with ADHD might actually get hit harder by this than most. Now, why is this? Imposter syndrome, well, it makes us doubt our accomplishments. And when you take a look at ADHD, there are some key characteristics that lends itself to imposter syndrome and leaves the door wide open for it to come on in. ADHD can be summed up as a lifetime of chronic underachievement. It can also be summed up as moving from one incompleted task to another. Now, don't these sound like some of the fears described in imposter syndrome? See, when you live a lifetime of ADHD, particularly untreated, you notice and remember all of your failures. You remember all the incompleted tasks, regardless of their importance. You remember and are constantly aware of all the shortcomings in your potential, and you know that you're bound to constantly underachieve. In this way, we are basically the perfect climate for imposter syndrome to fester in. When you live a lifetime of failure and underachievement, you can easily dismiss any triumphs as being just a mere fluke or a mistake that just happened to have a good outcome. Kind of appropriate for today's video, don't you think? So even when the people around us take note and genuinely give us praise for our successes, we are overcome by this feeling that in that moment, we're just living a lie. We feel like a fraud, an imposter, if you will. Now, this is where we differ from neurotypical people. See, now, unlike most neurotypical people, those of us with ADHD, we have past catalogs of evidence and proof that we truly don't deserve any praise for when things go right. I mean, most of the time, we just want to dismiss it and pretend like it didn't happen. This is probably because, well, at least in my case, we're afraid we just raised our own bar of expectations in others' eyes. And we know that, well, given our history, we can't consistently meet it. So does that mean all hope is lost? That we're always going to feel like frauds? That every good thing that happens to us is just going to be another mistake that's going to be found out by everyone else? Well, fortunately, there are some ways to help overcome imposter syndrome. And well, the first step we just did, and that is to become aware of it. Sometimes just knowing that there's a name for a thing that you're going through, and the fact that you're not alone, that just about everybody goes through this as well, it's almost kind of validating. And now that you know about it, it's a lot easier to recognize when those feelings start creeping up, and you can begin to tell yourself that it's not the truth, but it's just imposter syndrome trying to make you doubt yourself again. Now, one of the best ways to combat imposter syndrome is to make a list of your previous accomplishments. Try to relive these moments. I actually came across a really great video about imposter syndrome and how to overcome it. I'll have it linked in the description below. And I'd like to know, Do you battle with imposter syndrome? Let me know in the comments section. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. And until next time, take care of yourself and be well.